This is what I call an Ohio blue. And the only reason it's blue is because I dyed it blue. Okay, we're going to get ready to make an arrow. Now this is a piece of oak. This will make a shaft. Just trying to get all the big rough spots off. Okay, that don't feel too bad. Just made so you don't get splinters in your fingers. I use wee little files. So what I'm going to do,
Can we see that arrowhead that you picked out?
right
Oh
there.
yeah, it's right there.
Right there. When I say mine are primitive, that's just how they look. Primitive. A little more sanding, and there'll be a notch cut just like this one.
Oh.
This is an American primitive arrow, a little short war arrow.
Can you hold it over there in the light a little bit? Perfect. So you're using sinew here
Yep.
to lash
I
them.
use artificial sinew, so these are glued in, and then I wrap them with sinew and tie them. And the same thing is done with a feather. Okay. That'll go on the string this way, and you can put your arrowhead this way. That'd be pretty close to about where you want it. So now it's back to the hard part again.
So you just finished up your notch, and now you're going to
I'm going to make a big notch.
a little perch for the arrowhead itself.
Yep. Like I say, it's not a fast process. Arthritis is hell when you get old. But old age and treachery will overcome youth and skill every time. I think that's pretty close to getting an eyeball up on it.
I got you.
So then you take a different little file. And remember which way you had that.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Stick
yeah.
it back, because if you don't, you're done screwed up, son. You just take a hair off of one side and a hair off the other. And that's how you put
There she
arrowhead
is.
in. Okay, I took the point out of the notch. Now I have fletch type.
Okay.
Used to make arrows. Been using it for years. So it has a little nozzle and just takes a little bit. Put a little down in the bottom. A little bit up one side. A little bit up the other side. This way. What I want to do is look down and see where my point's at. I want to point at the middle of my shaft. Now, sinew. Artificial sinew. This is heavy. This is what I like to use when I'm putting like an axe head tied in.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is heavy and you need something heavy. doing arrows and necklaces and things, it's a lot thinner. It's a lot stronger than any string.
Right.
So you need to get you a handful started. And the trick of it is, use 2 fingers, wrap yourself around, and cut you another piece on that end. So what you're doing, you're going to pull that and pull this with this string looped through on both ends. And everything is underneath of it, so you will not see it.
Ah,
There's no knot.
right.
So I like to start up on this end. And give yourself enough to go around. And once you get that, hold the one and start wrapping yourself in.
Yeah.
And as you wrap that, you'll bring it down and under the notch, up over, back down under, up and over. So when you bring it around this time, it'll come down this side and come back up.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll bring it back down under and back up again. And you can bring this around a couple more times just to make sure that this ain't letting go. So then when you get down on this end of it, you just keep wrapping it, wrapping it, and wrapping it.
That looks really good. How tight are you holding on to while you're wrapping?
Tight.
Just pretty tight?
Tight. That's why I'll have these here surgical clamp scissors or whatever you call them. Hospitals don't give these away for nothing. But when they leave part of them in you, well, you're allowed to have them after that.
Yeah, I think that's a law, ain't it?
Pretty much. I told them I didn't want the sponges.
You got plenty of those at home.
Now, when you get down to where you want to go, here's your loop, what you have up here, right there. So you take and snip that off and put that through, and then you hold that.
Okay.
So now what you're going to do is reach up here, pull that a little bit, get you back where you belong. Wrap that around and you'll see that string come back under. And you can't see it now. So when you turn this end up, basically what you're doing is the same thing except you're going the opposite way. And you're pulling this underneath, just like you did the other.
Mm-hmm.
Now once you have that, then you get something that's sharp. And what you want to do cut that off. You're I'll bring this back up. That's cut off. And lo and behold, you have a miracle. There's no knots. Everything is clear back underneath of it. You cannot see it.
That is pretty fantastic. Look at that. Professional.
No, I saw a guy tie a fly rod one time.
Ah,
It's basically it's like, that there would be a pretty good little idea to have.
it looks good.
Now I'll show you a little secret that all women know about.
Uh-oh, is this safe for putting on the internet? Oh, okay.
Not
Okay,
really.
we're good. We're good.
So instead of using shellac, fingernail polish, clear fingernail polish, and you just come along and you paint it.
And it holds up pretty good over time like that, too.
Exactly.
Pretty good over time.
Exactly.
You think it soaks into that sinew a little bit?
Well, the sinew is a wax thread.
Right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
So basically all this is doing
Just over it.
is sealing it. That's all you're doing. So as you get this all painted up and give it time to dry, and where your ends went under, make sure you get a little extra just to cover that. Of course, I don't think the American Indian was using fingernail polish, but
Probably not.
it makes it look really sharp.
If it works, it works.
Yes. This isn't a fancy arrowhead, but I wouldn't want nobody to shoot me with one of them.
Probably wouldn't feel too good.
It's gonna mess up your day, I'll tell you that. And if you get real primitive, you can do the same thing with bone.
Oh, yeah. Did you carve that out?
Yep.
Looks great.
If somebody shoots you with this, you'll die of the mad cow disease. Make them as fancy as you want, or plain. But they're all made the same way as what you just saw starting here.
Yeah.
So that's where that's at today.
Excellent. Well, I'll be back over when you decide to fletch that one.
Well, I'll have to get the feathers, get them cut, and then I'll have to bring in my jig. You can see how my jig works.
Okay.
And then we'll glue, and you'll have to set and watch it glue dry.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Hucky.
Mm-hmm.